I'm Geoff Nemnich.
And I'm Rick Paillet.
And we're the hosts of The Last Stand. Coyote hunting is my passion.
And coyote calls are my livelihood.
And together we aim to bring you the best predator hunting tips, tricks, and tactics, right down to The Last Stand.
The Last Stand, presented by Lucky Duck Predator Calls. We are the masters of deception. Swagger Bipods. Shoot with confidence, shoot with swagger. OnX Hunt. Know where you stand. Hornady. Accurate, deadly, dependable. Pulsar. Image, quality.
Hey guys, welcome back to The Last Stand. We are still in North Dakota, day 2 of our hunt. Got a little bit of weather moving in. As you can see, it's the first stand of the morning. The wind's already probably blowing 20, 25. It's gonna be like that all day, but right about lunch, the percentage of snow goes up to about 95%. So we don't know what the day's gonna unfold. We don't know with the campers and stuff if we're gonna be able to even get in a full day of hunting. But, you know, we plan these trips months out, so we're here. We're gonna give it hell, you know. Tactics change a little bit, obviously, when you're hunting in wind. Coyotes are callable. You just gotta get in on the coyotes a little bit tighter, you know. So instead of calling them across, you know, big pastures, you know, big fields and things like that, we're gonna, right from the get-go, we're gonna be getting down in tight, you know, where we can find brush, rush beds along the lakes, you know, draws, cuts, all the kind of stuff where these coyotes are gonna be in out of the wind, and that's what we're gonna call, you know. Good thing about windy days is the stand times are shorter, right? We're not gonna be sitting there freezing our butts off for 20 minutes. I mean, these are gonna be probably 7-8 minute stands. Either the coyotes are there or they're not. Name of the game today is covering ground. So expectations are always a little bit lower, right? We're not thinking we're gonna kill probably 20 coyotes today, but you know, we grind it out. We'll be rewarded, I think. So we're gonna go give it a shot. It's still, you know, cloud cover and stuff. It's a little bit on the dark side, but we'll give it a shot. You know, Eric will probably be on the shotgun maybe a little bit later when we get down into some of this thick stuff, just so we can combat those coyotes that are right on us quick and tight. But I don't know. Let's go give it a shot, huh?
See what we can do.
Right. We're here. Well, I was a little overdressed for this first stand of the morning. It's not quite as cold as I thought it was. It's like only about 35 degrees. Wind's blowing pretty hard, but we had about a 400-yard hike up this big old hill. I had to strip some layers, but we got in here. It's a good looking stand. We got a little bowl in front of us. We can see maybe 150, 200 yards. Over the top is a big deep cut full of buckbrush. We have a big cut kind of running off to our left, full of buckbrush. Wind's kind of right in our face, blowing back here, right where we walked in from. So we really have this 180 out in front of us that we haven't walked through, we haven't drove through. Wind's good on. Chris is tucked way back to the right in case something does decide to loop. I don't think they'll loop that far, but Eric's kind of off the left about 100 yards up on a hill just so he can see down in this cut left a little bit better. And then Terry and I got this bowl covered if something comes right to the call. So volume is going to be the name of the game. Just because they hear it doesn't mean they're going to come running, but I want to make sure they hear it, give them a chance. So I'm going to play loud sounds today. You know, if we're talking 8-10 minute stands tops, I'm going with loud sounds like TNT Cottontail, 32 volume, max 4. You know, pup distresses like Schoolyard Brawl, Sig Kicking Ass. They're just naturally louder sounds. They cut the wind a little bit better. So nothing fancy. Just gonna put some volume out there and see if we can get something killed. Well, we got her done on the first stand. You know, that's all it takes is you just got to get within these coyotes' bubbles today. I mean, 400 or 500 yards probably max coyotes are going to want to come in this wind. And I was a little patient on that coyote. I probably should have shot it early on, but I wanted to make sure we got some footage. And right when it come down that last little bit, I was just getting ready to shoot it, and then looked down and saw us. You'll see from video. They looked right at us, saw us. Didn't have very far to go. I didn't think it was going to stop. You know, the coyote was only about 100 yards. I just overlet it, I think. The coyote, first shot, the coyote was kind of trotting straight away. I just gave him a little too much lead, and then he banked hard, but hopefully he's up there. I rolled him right over the top of the hill, so hopefully I hit him good and he didn't run off, but I guess we'll find out when we walk up there. That is a big old coyote, isn't it? I got him right in the head. That's why he didn't go nowhere. Right in the ear hole. That's right where I was aiming, Terry.
Exactly.
No, that was like a desperation, like, how the hell did I miss that thing running straight away damn near on the first one? Oh, where is it? Yeah, right about 100, right what I thought. So. All right, great start to the morning. Well, this is what we do as coyote hunters. You start game planning, man. We already got planned, you know. We sat down at the cafe this morning. We had a game plan. We know where we're going on the second stand. We know where we're going on the third stand, you know. So we're going to get this coyote loaded up. Eric spotted some coyotes out this way. I think it's kind of where we're maybe going. So the wind's, you know, 20. This ain't bad wind, you know. We're cranking volume. So
close enough to him. I could hear the call good. I mean, granted, I was downwind, but I could hear the call real good down there. So
good start.
Yeah.
Hey, we're 2 for 2 on first stands of the trip so far, calling in coyotes, you know.
take it.
Well, we are on fourth stand of the morning. We blanked the last two after killing that coyote on the first stand. Weather's holding out pretty good, you know. Wind staying steady right about 20. Kind of a little bit of sleet moving in now, you know. We're a couple hours out from probably getting the snow quite yet, but we're just looking for cover. We parked back here behind a hill, kind of walked up onto this field line. We got lots of grass and stuff to break up our outline. Just got a great hide here. But we got a cut bean field probably 300 yards and down into a slough bottom. There was just no piece of cover to get us any closer, but I feel this is plenty close enough right now. We're just hoping that there's a coyote laid up down in that slough bottom with all those rush beds and things like that. So Chris is kind of tucked off back to the left side, not really downwind, but around the backside. There's little pockets of slough bottoms and stuff mixed throughout this field. So in case we get some random coyote that comes from that backside, he can kill that. But Eric, Terry, and I are right here ready to pound them. Hopefully we get some multiple coyotes coming out of this bottom. We ought to be set up perfect to get them all killed. I'm just gonna crank some volume and probably about an 8-10 minute stand here. Well, no luck. We sat here 11 minutes. I cranked max volume. Had pretty good visibility. Just no coyotes, man. My internal clock is telling us we're running out of time. Like it's coming. We know the snow is coming. I don't know how we can hunt in it. I just don't know how great we're going to be able to film with lenses getting, you know, covered with wet snow and stuff like that. So, dang, 3 stands in a row that are dry, you kind of be like, man, you feel like you missed out just a little bit here. But wind's holding out. We're going to keep cranking. I think we're going to head to a stand now where Chris been sitting in the deer blind and been seeing coyotes about every time he's been in there. So hopefully we can put it together there and make something happen here before the snow starts flying. Well, we finished our little walkabout. We got set up. We ended up going about 400 yards around this hill. We just kind of kept skirting it. We're calling it a completely new area now. You know, that sound travels, but it was nowhere near going down into some of this cover that we're calling into now. And it was just percentages and probabilities. I mean, Chris has been consistently seeing coyotes in here every time he sat in that deer stand, so we know they're in here somewhere. We just had to get to a little different spot to where we could call some more of this area. So we got a big lake off to our right here, probably 1,000 yards out. There's a bunch of rushes. Got a little bit of ag and some brush between there, but then there's just pockets of brush and cuts going all the way up through here. Tall grass and all kinds of stuff. So looking straight into the wind. Chris is off the right side here, kind of in case something comes hard right. Eric's off to our left a little bit, sitting in some brush. We have a couple little different angles here. I'm gonna point hard right. There could be a coyote that comes over the hill hard. Probably gonna see us, and then Terry's covering right at the call, but I'm gonna crank volume. That's gonna be the key here. Probably sit here about 10 minutes and see if we can hopefully be in these coyotes. coyote came from. Eric shot right down here. Coyote's hauling ass over the hill right now. I don't know what happened there. Sounded like he hit brush on the first one. First shot, unless it was a double. Been here about 7 minutes. Well, all we heard was a lot of shooting going on. I don't know what happened, but
this one came right where we walked, came around the corner at 25 yards and stood there. And at the same time that happened, there was one right down in the bottom here with his just tip of his ears and his eyes poked up above the hill. Yeah, so I sent one at him there. I hit him in the ear because I seen hair fly, and then he took off running up the hill. I hit him up there. He stumbled and he went up and over the hill. I don't know if he's completely dead, but I'm gonna go walk up there and look.
Did you not ever shoot at this one then?
Couldn't
oh
move.
Yeah,
he was staring right at me, and that one was staring at me too.
Well, it never fails. You know, that's right where we had kind of called that way. I thought we had gotten the call must have not. They must have come from way over that hill then. Just on our last setup, the call just didn't quite carry. But yeah, never fails, right? Right about back where you were, you know. Well, they were coming good anyway, I guess. They just came from kind of the wrong spot. You know, if they'd been a little further out front, we'd have probably had really good shooting at them, you know. Well, I think this is going to be a last stand of the day. It's just snowing enough, and it's just a wet, sticky snow. The cameras are getting drenched. It's just not very easy to get stuff filmed right now, let alone to see in your scope and see coyotes coming. So, and the forecast is calling for the snow just to continue all rest of the afternoon into the night. So, but we were in here. We had one more good stand. Chris and Eric were in here 2 days ago and bumped a couple coyotes out here when they were just kind of scouting around looking for stands. So we're gonna let it rip. Kind of got a crosswind. We're sitting up in a little elevation. Got a couple draws going left. Some cuts over to the right. I'm gonna be pointing right here in case something pops up. But rip some sounds. See if we can't make it happen here on the last stand of the day. Well, in a weird way, I'm kind of glad we didn't kill anything there. All that would have done is just give us more motivation to keep hunting in this. you know, we killed one very first stand this morning. It's about almost 2 o'clock now. We made about 8 blank stands in a row. The snow's not going to let up. It's just making it crazy hard to do anything, especially with the cameras. You know, we're having to cover them up, which makes it hard to move them and hard to get on things if we did call in some coyotes. Scopes are covered, so I think we're going to pull the plug on it. We're going to let this storm blow out tonight. We'll head back, get an early start on drinking a few beers tonight, maybe. Looking forward to Chris's famous ribeye at the cafe tonight. We've heard about that. So, but you know, this storm's supposed to blow through tonight. You know, midnight or a little bit later. Should have 3 or 4 fresh inches of snow on the ground for tomorrow. You know, wind's supposed to be about like it was today, and even lay up towards the afternoon. So, if I was guessing, tomorrow's probably going to be our best day for calling in coyotes of the 3 we've been here. So we'll hope for that, but stay tuned. Day 3 is ahead of us, and we're going to have some fresh snow on the ground and hopefully some coyotes that are willing to play. Welcome to North Dakota. We finally got North Dakota weather. Wind's blowing about 30. You know, the snow quit last night about 1 in the morning, but then we're catching the backside of the storm now, so we're gonna have some wind for a good chunk of the day, unfortunately. So we're just gonna hit cover all day. You know, we got a big pocket of rushes right here. Problem is the snow blew so hard last night that a lot of this front edge of these rush beds is, you know, knee to thigh deep snow drifts. I don't know if the coyotes are going to be able to bust through that stuff, but really all you can do is call these. It's going to be a quick stand. I mean, if they're in here, it's going to be like a 5-6 minute stand tops to get them to come out. Chris went way downwind in case something kind of slips out the backside and tries to, you know, they a lot of times they don't like to run right through the rushes. They'll like to get out in the more open country so they can get to the call. But I walked the revolt, you know, through knee-deep drifts, got it out there about 80 yards out ahead. So hopefully now they're funneled, they'll run out in front of us if they come out of here. But gonna be a grind for the first part of the day for sure. 30-mile-an-hour winds. It's about 0 degree wind chill right now. So, but hey, can't kill them sitting back at the house. So. Well, we're gonna get our workout today, that's for sure. A little bit of snow like this, fighting a 30-mile-an-hour wind, walking in and out of stands, man. It is a lot of extra work today. We hiked in here about 300 yards. There's a little pocket of rushes that comes back into this lake. We saw a set of coyote tracks, 2 sets actually coming in here. We lost them back there, so I don't know how old they are, but this is really the last bit of cover on this lake, is this big pocket. We can get in here about, I don't know, 300 yards or 250 from that cover, so hopefully we're close enough. We're on the downwind part now, so this is where there's less snow cover just because the wind was coming out of the north all night, and you know, the drifts are on the north side of these lakes, but south sides are pretty open, so I think the coyotes can hit right here and run pretty good to the call. Eric's to my left a little bit. He has a little bit better vantage point down to the rush beds. I'm gonna be right here with Terry if they come running out right to the call. Chris stayed way back behind in case something loops out behind us in this cornfield. You know, they could be bedded up out in the corn stalks too, so we just wanted to cover that. So about a 6-minute stand. We're not going to be here long. And on to the next one. Well, quick stands, that's the name of the game in these conditions. 30-mile-an-hour winds, cold. Coyotes are going to be laid up super tight, meaning they're not coming from very far. Either they're going to be there, they're not. So, you know, I'm rolling about a 6.5 minute stand, but I'm going through sounds about 1.5 minutes a piece, tops, and just trying to maybe find something to break them out of this stuff if they are down in here. I'm still not convinced that they're down in this stuff. There might be a little bit too much snow, but we're going to keep grinding them out. Numbers game. Eric just got a call from the farmer. We're looking for cover, right? Whether that's tree rows, rush beds, whatever we can find, just trying to find a spot where these coyotes are laid up. But one of the farmers just called him and said the guy was out working in his yard and he actually heard some coyotes howl right up behind his house, which is pretty crazy because the wind's blowing like 30, you know. So you don't usually hear coyotes howl from very far. So that's right where we're headed. We're going to take him up on his tip and head over there. There's some cover over there. There's a tree row, a shelter belt, little corner of a pond that comes around that has some rushes in it. So we're gonna go, keep grinding them out. Lots of fresh tracks. Most of them are deer tracks. There were a couple sets of coyote tracks in here, but it's just these weird old piles of sand, like a big gravel pit. And just a bunch of brush and willows and big tree row off to our left and about 1.5. So we just found this little pocket, little opening here, maybe got 60, 70 yards of visibility. If they come from the up 1.5, we should see them coming in here a little bit better, but we just kind of tucked in the bank here. We got every avenue covered. We got a gun barrel pointed at every spot on this opening, so if they show up, we'll have it covered. But I'm going to start off with like a lucky pecker type sound here because they could be within, you know, 100 yards of us right now. As windy as it is, they'd never heard us walk in here, so I'm gonna start with more of a, you know, less aggressive, kind of high-pitched sound to start, and then crank it up because there's some stuff out here 400 or 500 yards where they could be as well. But once again, you know, wind like this, we're making quick stands. It's gonna be like maybe a 6-7 minute stand top. We're gonna have a little powwow here and probably decide if we want to go in a little bit deeper. This tree row goes down about another 400 yards right towards the end of a little lake with some rushes. So we're banking on that the intel was good, but we can probably drive in here a little further, maybe get back in there about 400 yards, which on a day like today, that's, you know, a distance between stands is pretty good, especially if we're down in this bottom right here, a bunch of brush and stuff. The call wasn't going real far, and the coyotes aren't coming from real far either. So we're gonna debate and see if we want to go down there and make one more, or back out of here and head to a new spot. Well, no dice. You know, it's hard saying on days like today. You know, the coyotes could have moved up further up in there, just kind of out of hearing range, out of range of what they really want to travel. You know, some coyotes just don't come to the call sometimes in certain conditions, you know, but you know, you can't wait around hoping those coyotes decide to show up. You know, those type of coyotes, it doesn't matter what sound you play, how close you get to them, they just don't want to move sometimes. And you know, but we anticipate that there are some coyotes out there that during any type of conditions that want to come to the call. So all you can do is cover ground, make stands, and try to find those particular coyotes. Oh, that's probably 20, 30 Chevys I pulled out over the years, even more Fords. But yeah, it happens. A lot of Dodges too, yeah. Well, that was the most excitement we've had all day, getting to pull out that truck. The only reason we came over here is 2 stands ago, we saw a pair of coyotes way up in this tree row up here. So we decided we'd slip in and see if we can't, you know, get on them here. We're assuming the middle part of the day they probably laid up somewhere in this tree row, but I think we overshot it. I honestly think the coyotes were on that tree row, which is now straight downwind. There's a bale yard right over there where they stacked up some hay bales. This tree row is not that thick. I'm guessing that's probably where they ended up, but we're gonna hope that they're laid up in this first like 300 yards of this tree row over here by this deer blind, and they should come rolling right in. But this is gonna be a fast stand, like 5 minutes. We're just targeting just these coyotes that might be in this tree row. So the wind's blowing as hard as it's been all day. I thought it was, the last couple stands, it felt like it was dying down, but now it's whipping right through here. 30 plus for sure. So, but good thing it's kind of on the downwind half, so the call will definitely carry in there. We'll see if we can pull them out of there. Well, all you can do is laugh, smile, and keep on grinding. Well, fellas, it's come down to this. Unfortunately, I didn't want to have to wait till the last stand to kill a coyote here on 3rd day, but that's where we're at, man. We've been grinding. I mean, it's not from a lack of effort. I mean, just great looking ground. The wind's played havoc on us, but luckily, you know, hopefully our patience will be rewarded here. Our efforts will be rewarded. The wind is dying down. Eric and I put together a plan a little bit earlier today and said, hey, you know, we're hoping that the wind's gonna die down. Let's save the best spot for last. Maybe not 100%er.
This is 100%.
All right.
I'm gonna say it.
All right, 100%er. All right, that's what I wanted for the last stand of the trip. So, you know, we're gonna be looking back into the sun just a little bit, but probably by the time we get in, it's gonna set. But with the snow cover, we're not gonna have any issues seeing coyotes running in. So hopefully that's a problem we have. But we're gonna slip in there about 300 yards, get set up, make it happen. Well, fellas, it was not from a lack of effort. I mean, most guys wouldn't even have came out today. I can guarantee you that. But here on The Last Stand, I've talked about it before. We bring you the good, the bad, everything in between. We planned these hunts 3 months ago. We planned this date. When we got camera guys flying out, and sometimes the weather just isn't ideal, and I feel like that's kind of what we hit this trip. The first day seemed pretty decent, but it was unseasonably warm. It went from that to this, in a matter of a day. Yesterday we had half of our day cut short just because of the snow. And then today, man, we're fighting a 30+ mile-an-hour wind all day. Can you kill coyotes in that? Yeah, but is it going to be probably bomber days? No, and we kind of knew that going in. But man, just some crazy good country. I mean, I appreciate you guys lining this up.
Absolutely.
Chris and Eric.
Blast.
We've been sitting on this stuff for a while and been talking about it, anticipating. Terry made the trip up, So yeah, I mean, it's just been phenomenal. And hopefully, although you didn't get to see a bunch of coyotes killed on this episode, hopefully you took away some stuff. What did we make? About 20, between yesterday and today, about 21 dry stands in a row. And that's all you can do, right? You can just cover ground, you can pout and go back and go home, or you can hunt. And that's what we did, man. We hunted hard, and we always do that anyway. But, hey, sometimes they come in, sometimes they don't. I don't think it was a matter of playing the right sound today. Yeah, I don't think it was one of those days. It was not like we saw coyotes sitting out there all day long that just kind of flipped us the bird. The coyotes we did see were way out there, so it's just one of those days. So, like I told Chris, I said tomorrow it's going to be about 5 mile-an-hour wind.
Stack 'em up tomorrow.
I said I'll be on the road back to Nebraska, but I said, man, they'll probably run around, drive around, and see 30 coyotes tomorrow. But that's just coyote hunting. You never know what you're going to get, and that's why we love it. So once again, I appreciate you guys, and like I said earlier, if you're ever through Pettibone, North Dakota, swing into the Harvester's Cafe. Chris will make you up probably one of the best ribeyes you ever had. So.
Absolutely.
Maybe the tenderloin might be. We're going to have some tenderloin
and shrimp
tonight. Heidi's cooking that.
Oh, no, she's not. Oh, no, she's not.
Well, gentlemen, it's been fun, man.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you guys.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hauling me around for 3 days. Hope you guys enjoyed these episodes. Stand by. We're heading to Rick's, Kansas, thermal opener for Kansas. We're going to call some raccoons, so stay tuned for that here in the upcoming episodes. But as always, guys, appreciate you guys watching, and we'll catch you next time right here on The Last Stand.